readiness is there, readiness to learn. And when that readiness in the form of emotional maturity, in the form of togetherness, togetherness means one is together, emotionally, spiritually, one is grown up. Vedanta is not for children. Play is for children. Songs, chants, we can teach children. Dharma, we can teach children. But Vedanta is for adults. This being the case, one has to grow up to study Vedanta. And taking one look at these people who, who have lived in the ashram for 32 years without even knowing why they are there, Prajapati is not very happy to teach because there is no preparation, no viveka, no discrimination about why they are there, no vairagya, as we will see in the example that is to come, no letting go of body identification. I am as good as my body. I am as good as my house. I am as good as my spouse, etc., etc., etc. No such thing. No understanding. And so, therefore, Prajapati gives them the teaching, but they do not follow. Prajapati says, the Atma is the little being, the little Purusha that is behind the eye. And this is very cryptic. Cryptic means very difficult to decipher, difficult to understand. What do you mean behind the eye? Behind the eye, what is the retina? That is what is behind the eyeball. But here, spiritually, this was very, very wonderful instruction, because indeed it is not the eyes that see. When, if it were the organ called the eye that saw, that was capable of sight, then you know what would happen? Every dead body would see. Every dead body, if it has its eyes open, it should see. But that doesn't happen. That's why sometimes to check whether the person is alive or not, they go like this. Any movement in the olden days, otherwise they shine a light to see if the pupils retract. So there is something else here going on in Prajapati's teaching. And what Prajapati intends to say is beautifully talked about in another Upanishad. And what is that Upanishad? That Upanishad is called Kenopanishad, because it starts with the word Kena. Keneshitam preshitam patati manaha kena pranaha. And Chakshushrotram Kau Devaha Yunakti. The student is very prepared for this knowledge in the Kenopanishad. And in the Kenopanishad, the student asks the teacher, how do the thoughts fall into the mind? How do the eyes see? How do the ears hear? What is that source? What is that Ishvara? What is that God? What is that being of light that makes the eyes see, that makes the mind think, that makes the ears hear? Beautiful question, for which also in the Kenopanishad a beautiful answer is given. Shrotrasya shrotram, chakshushas chakshuhu, Manaso manah vachoha vacham sa upranasya pranaha. What sees, what is capable of sight, is not the organ called the eye. It is the eye of the eye. It is the eye of the eye. Pun intended. EYE and the big letter I. Aham Atma. Very interesting. It's the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, etc. You can go on like this for every sense organ. What is this eye of the eye? That consciousness, that force, which makes the eyes see. I'm being asked to switch the microphone, so please give me a second.
Thank you, Swamiji.
This works better. Are you able to hear? Is the audio better? Shall I continue?
Yeah, it's better, Swamiji.
Okay. Okay, no problem. We'll do this. The eye of the eye is what sees, not the organ called the eye. This is what the student in the Kenopanishad is told. What is this eye of the eye? That knowledge of sight. That knowledge which allows one to see. That knowledge of sight. That knowing through which the sight is taking place, because behind sight is knowledge. That consciousness, that conscious being which allows the sight to take place, that awareness, I know I can see, that awareness itself is called the eye of the eye. This is exactly what Prajapati wants to communicate to these two people, Indra and Virochana. And from their example, we know that unless the mind is ready for this knowledge, one can stay in the ashram for 32 years without undergoing any transformation internally. No transformation at all. Why? Because they did not have the desire to study, they did not have the desire to know, they did not know what questions to ask, because the preparation was not there. And of course, therefore, the two celestials, the Virojana, the king of the Asuras, and Indra, the king of the Devas, did not understand. The being behind the eyes? Oh, are you referring to that which I see when I look at my own reflection in the mirror? Indra asks. Yes, yes, Prajapati says. Because that which enables you to see in the mirror is very much this being. Akshini Purushaha, that being which is behind the eyes. Now here, Adi Shankara, who wrote a commentary for this Upanishad, he does a very nice analysis and says that it is not true that Prajapati was misleading the students, because a teacher of Vedanta will never ever mislead the students. It was just that he was giving the truth. Yes, the eye of the eye allows you to see a tree. The eye of the eye allows you to see what is in the mirror also. But they didn't understand this. So then the Prajapati, they said, we want to look at ourselves. We want to look in the mirror. Prajapati calls for a Udasharava. Udasharava means this huge vat of water, a big drum of water. Prajapati says, here, gentlemen, you asked for this water, here it is. And they both eagerly look at their reflections in the water. And they are very happy. Indra says, oh, not bad. The Atma is quite good looking. It is fantastic. I never ever imagined that that my Atma would be so good looking. I never had an idea that the Atma would be so handsome. He twirled his mustache and then he just did like this to his biceps and triceps and showed everything off and looked at himself this way, looked at himself that way. Virochana, in the meantime, was over the moon with happiness. Very happy. Virochana was saying, this is amazing. So easy this Atma is. Very, very, very easy. I did not know. I look at my reflections many times a day. And if I look at my reflections many times a day, this many times I'm having darshan of Atma. As I mentioned yesterday, it is not possible to have darshan of Atma. Why? Because the person who is doing the darshan is Atma. It is not possible to see the Atma because the seer, the truth of the seer is Atma. The truth of that which is seen, not away from the Atma, non-separate from the Atma. It is not possible to touch the Atma because the one that wants to touch is the Atma. It is not possible to pick up the smell of Atma because the one who can pick up the smell is Atma. And Atma is free of having any smell. And in this manner, the teaching unfolds. And despite Prajapati's knowledge, Virochana and Indra are totally clueless. So they go away. Both of them go away. They go away saying to themselves, this is fantastic. Virochana says, I am going to open an ashram once I go back in the land of the Asuras. And what will it have? All things to make the body grow strong. Massage parlors, and then mud baths, and then lots of wonderful things to eat. And of course, there will be a body shop. This is a very, very big chain in America, body shop. And this body shop has all kinds of lotions and potions, in every color. And what are these lotions and potions for? The lotions and potions are there to dismiss every notion that one has about the body. So many lotions, so many potions, and this is all that there is. And so the body is, the body is Atma, of course, because everything is Atma. Atma is not the body. If Atma were the body, then it would become finite. It would not be limitless. And there is no end to samsara then, because Atma becomes one more thing to pursue. And so the person will say, I'm going to graduate school, and then I have a family to take care of, and then I'm also doing a job. And one more thing, I cannot accommodate. And what will we say for that? I mean, that you don't have the time to study is a different thing. But that Atma is separate, it's not true. That which, that because of which you can go to graduate school, Atma. That because of which you can pursue a job, Atma. That because of which you can have a family life, Atma. That is what Atma is. It's not one more thing to pursue. It's not an object. It's not a thing. And these people sadly did not know, twirling their mustaches and looking very good, wonderful, they thought. And they both left the ashram with the wrong knowledge that the body is the Atma. And the Atma is just as good as the body. And seeing them leave the gate of the ashram, Prajapati felt very sad and also very concerned. He said, "Look at them go. Fools. Look at these fools go. You know what? And with the wrong knowledge. They are going all right. And they have wrong knowledge about the I, about Atma. And so therefore what? Therefore, this is a big travesty. This is a sad tragedy that they have left before gaining the knowledge fully." And then he issues a warning prophecy. Whosoever among these two tries to teach this knowledge, saying body is Atma, that lineage is going to perish. It's going to be destroyed. It will never be popular anywhere. He was not cursing them. He was just making sure that the sacred lineage of the knowledge of oneness, the knowledge that everything is one and that one is myself alone, and that sacred lineage should not be destroyed or disrupted. That was his main concern. And so therefore he said it like this, and he made this very, very clear that this is not the way to go about it, and if they tried, they would not succeed. That is why there is no ashram that says Atma is as good as the body. Even today. Even today. And that is because of Prajapati's prophecy. Both of them go away. End of the Upanishad? No. Indra, who is on the right side of Dharma, has a lot more punya. And as he is walking back to his loka, Indra loka, heaven, when he is walking back, he feels thirsty. And then he goes and sits in front of a lake and he sees himself again. He sees his body and he is ecstatic. Oh, look at this wonderful Atma. I never knew it was so easy. Then suddenly there is a wind and that ripple comes on the water and distorts the reflection. He sees his face cut up into hundreds of pieces because of the waves in the water. Then he has a doubt. What is this? Atma is Nitya, Vijaraha, Vimrityuh, Vishokaha. We saw all these words yesterday. It is free of any kind of transformation. And if just the blowing air can transform the Atma and make it all just distorted, my face is not the Atma. Atma He is not the body. I think I need to go back. He goes back to Prajapati. And Virochana goes to the land of the Asuras and opens a Gurukulam, an ashram. And what is that ashram going to teach? I told you how to keep on pampering the body. When? All day long, all night long. So just that's what is being taught. That's why that knowledge does not last, because of Prajapati's promise. Indra comes back and stays, and he says, I have a question. How come, if the Atma is permanent, free of changes, free of transformation, then how come I look at my reflection and it is disturbed by the wind? It's disturbed by a little boy throwing a stone. How is this possible? It is not Atma. What is the Atma? Can you please teach me? Prajapati says, yes. When? After 32 years. After 32 years. Don't forget, they have already spent 32 years. This time, Indra has come back solo. 32 years. 32 years later, Indra is sitting there and Prajapati is there. He is very excited. Finally, one satsang is going to happen. Oh, goody! And he takes a bath, wears white clothes, and puts vibhuti here. Vibhuti here. Looks like a zebra when he is done. So many stripes everywhere. And then sits in with the mudra of learning, jnana mudra, and is so eager for the satsang to take place. Then you know what happens? Prajapati comes. The opening prayer and the closing prayers are longer than the class itself. The class is one syllable. No, I can't even say one word. The what? What? What did you say? The who? The what? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Closing prayer. And Indra says, wait, but I have questions. Sure, I will answer your question. There'll be another satsang? Yes. When? Now you guess when. After 32 years. 32 years later, repeat. Same. Indra comes, sits down, da. Oh, but wait, I didn't understand it the first time. How will I understand it the second time? 32 more years. Third da. And then finally Indra understands. Indra understands that the first da means to give, to learn to give. Second da means the learn to be, and the third da means to have mastery of the sense organs. He finally understands this. Then you can do the math. 32 times 4. Okay. And then he says, can I take your leave? Prajapati says, stay 5 more years. And then he goes back to Indraloka and teaches everything. Don't imagine him like a 106-year-old man or something like that, because this is celestial time. This is heaven time. And heaven time is different from earth time. We hear this even in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, what is said? It is said that one morning, one day in the life of Lord Brahma, not to confuse it with Brahman, Brahmaji, one day is 1,000 yugas. Yuga means a big period of time. 1,000, like Kali Yuga, is 436,000 years. So 1,000 Kali Yugas is equal to one day in the life of Lord Brahma. So therefore, this fellow Indra is not an old person because there is a different reckoning of time there. And everybody, Indra is made to stay in the ashram for 105 years so that everybody can be encouraged that it's okay if I don't get this knowledge right away. It is okay if I don't understand Atma is not an object right away. It is okay if I don't understand what Da means, how to grow, how to give, how to make the sense organs, how to be the master of the sense organs, how to make them calm, how to manage anger, how to manage strong preferences, desires, how and prejudices. How to do that? How to have focus? It's okay if I can't learn all this right away. Indra, who is so exalted, took 106 years, so I have some time now. In fact, compared to Indra, I am doing very well. People can tell this. People can say this and feel good. That is why Indra is chosen as the student in the Upanishad. Because that which Indra wants to learn, then I also want to learn. Even now it's like that. In the contemporary times also, it is just like that. How is it in the contemporary times? It is like any celebrity, Hollywood celebrity or Bollywood celebrity. They do something and it quickly catches on, it becomes a trend. That is why Indra is the ideal student, not Virochana, because the dharma factor is there. Indra is very famous because of dharma, and because of that, he is exalted. And when an exalted being gains this knowledge, it becomes a sadhana for everybody, it becomes a desire for everybody to gain the same knowledge in the same way. It's a source of inspiration. And there the Upanishad chapter comes to a close. But for our purposes, we have a lot to unpack. We have a lot to unpack. First thing to see here is that this knowledge is not given until Virochana departs. Who is this Virochana? Virochana, you say very quickly. Of course, you told us who this Virochana is. You said Asura, Rakshasa, demonic being. Yes, demonic being, all right. But here, the demonic being is not without, is within. That which represents the demonic being is what? That which represents the demonic being is the ahankara filled with raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, and Matsarya. What are all these? What are all these things? Raga, Dvesha, strong preferences, strong prejudices. That is what is Kama. Together, they are known as Kama. When the Kama is not fulfilled, when my desire is not fulfilled, you know what happens? Anger comes, Krodha comes. And the Krodha, the anger, when it is not managed, it turns into Lobha. I want more, I want more, I want more. Avarice, greed. Then, after that, one is deluded, Moha. Deluded means one forgets what is my real goal in life. Am I making a big deal out of a small thing? What is going on? This is what one forgets. And so this is moha, and mada, pride. In the English language, there is a proverb, there is a saying, pride always comes before a fall. That's exactly what it is. Pride. East or west, I am the best. This is pride. Nobody else. I can do this better. I can make this happen. That is pride. And then the final one is jealousy. Jealousy, matsarya. Matsarya means, see, when somebody else is coming up in life, the jealous person is very upset, angry, and resentful of the other person's progress. This is jealousy. And so these are the inner virochanas. In the psychological parlance, together we call them the inner child, inner children. And I do believe that it is a gentler way of approaching the inner virochana. Otherwise, one is already full of complexes, and one starts to have one more complex. Oh, I have too much kama, I have too much krodha, I have too much moha, etc., etc., so on, so forth. This is something which is important to see. Even this concept of inner child has come from the Vedas and then later on taken into, adapted into modern psychology by Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and other such stalwarts. In the Dakshinamurti embodiment itself, 4 hands holding various objects, fire of knowledge, book of the Veda, and the Damaru, that Shiva, the Shiva's drum, which represents space, and the other hand, the right lower hand in Jnana Mudra, Chin Mudra, showing Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi in sign language, this is what it is. In sign language, this is Ahankara, full of Virochana. This is the body, mind, and senses. And to this these three fingers, this finger is attached to all of them, identified with them. The thumb is Ishvara, God, Brahman, and the Ahankara, the one that points at everybody's fault, is told first to bend to the Guru, prostrate in front of the Guru, and gain the knowledge. When the Ahankara becomes one with the knowledge and lets go of the body identification, the mind identification, and the identification with the senses. This is Tattvamasi, sign language. And then at the foot of the Lord, there is a being, a baby. It looks like a baby from far. And then you say, why is the Lord stepping on a baby? I want to know. Why is the Lord stepping on a baby? But it is no baby. Upon looking closer, he has a mustache. It's like a dwarf figure. Then he has a snake in one hand or a dagger in one hand and a shield in another. Offensive, defensive. This is the inner church, ancient inner church. This is ancient Vedantic psychology. And over that, the Lord compassionately puts a foot and says, heal. Heel, which means I have asked you to stay here. Don't move, stay. Don't go all over the place. Sit in one place. And Heal also. May all these difficult emotions be healed, because my foot is there as the prasada of blessing. And that is why prayer is so important. Every time we pray, we give the inner virojana onto the feet of the Lord. We lay the inner virojana at the feet of the Lord, because only after he goes can the teaching take place. Very, very beautiful here. And so we see this there. We see this in the Dakshinamurti Upanishad. Dakshinamurti Upanishad is not taught. It is only the mantras there are chanted, and it is understood that way. 2-3 Mula mantras are there in the Dakshinamurti Upanishad. And this being is called Apasmara. This being's name is not Virojana, that was another Asura. Here it is called Apasmara. Apasmara means the one who haunts with the help of memories. He who haunts with the help of memories. He morphs into the form of memories and torments the carrier of memories. This is what the Asura called Apasmara does. Very, very intense, very, very interesting. So anytime at all, one is having doubts, it is Apasmara talking. Anytime one feels nobody loves me, Apasmara talking. Anytime one says, oh, I had a terrible time. Why did these things happen to me? Why me? Apasmara haunting in the form of memories. I had a bad childhood. Apasmara haunting in the form of memories. So much so that I'm not able to let go. This is why Shraddha is important. Shraddha is trust. The child which grew up under difficult circumstances naturally loses the trust. Loses the trust because the primary caregivers have turned into primary scaregivers. They frighten the child. They are having their own problems. No mother, no father wants to do anything bad to the child. They love their children. But it happens that they don't have time. It happens that they are grieving. It happens that they have some difficulties. It happens that they have a difficult life. And the legacy of these difficulties are, without knowing, passed on to the child. Even before it knows what to do, even before it is able to understand. So that is what is called the unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind is a blessing from Bhagavan. It is a blessing that one does not know that there is an inner Virojana until adulthood. Either one Virojana or many apasmaras, however you want to see it. In adulthood, finally it is safe enough to feel unsafe. When you have a committed relationship, when you get married, for example, or you have a friend you can trust, then all the pains and sorrows of childhood come out to be healed. And if they haven't come out in a trustful relationship, I suggest you go to an ashram. There they will definitely come out. Because again, it says you are surrounded by love and it's a safe space. Sometimes people get worried and they think, until I came to the ashram, I was fine. Swamiji, I was fine. Only after coming here, all the feelings are coming up. That means I should go. No. That means you should stay and take a look at what is all this about. What is this preference? What is this binding desire? What is this desire that is making me feel so uncomfortable that I can't not fulfill it? What is this sorrow? What is this difficulty? Take a look. In fact, it is wonderful to look when one is surrounded by like-minded sadhakas who are also striving to gently bid this Virojana goodbye. It is wonderful to do this. And without doing this, no knowledge can take place. Vedanta, if Virojana is not gone, Vedanta is gone. Okay. It's either Vedanta or Virojana. Both of them start with the letter V. Which are you going to choose? You please decide. This is what the message of the Upanishad is. And as we see, it is an ancient concept, this whole inner child work. And what is this inner child work? It's integrating this Virojana with love, growing up so that one is a mother, one is a father to the inner asuras in the form of difficult emotions. Those emotions have to be handled with love. Even though it is very tempting to give one's inner virojana to another person to take care of, whether it is the spouse, whether it is a friend, or even the teacher. You tell the Guru, here is my inner virojana, I am going to give it to you. I don't want to deal with it. Not the teacher's job. Teacher is there to teach. Teacher is there to help you understand how to parent this child. Parenting means you have to have a little space. Like Mother Yashoda had that space. When Lord Krishna came in the house, full of butter, buttery footprints, butter everywhere. And she scolds him. What are you doing? I told you not to go everywhere and eat people's butter. You still don't listen. And then he says, I didn't eat the butter, Mom. I didn't eat the butter. Who ate the butter then? All the village children ate the butter. And since I'm so small, and since I'm so cute, they framed me. They put butter all over me. And then they said, so that I will get the blame. She knew he was lying. She knew he was not telling the truth. But she was enjoying the cuteness. The discipline would come later. She was enjoying that cuteness. There was a little bit of space. Same way, there is a little bit of space between the difficult emotions and oneself. One becomes the mother and the father to the inner virochanas and looks at them with love. That is what is called parenting the inner child. If you identify with the emotions, if you become one with the emotion, you will not be able to do this. That is why this inner space is needed. Space between what and what? You are not the Virochana. Who are you? You are the adult who doesn't need any more the coping mechanisms of getting angry at somebody when your desire is not fulfilled, targeting somebody, blaming somebody, or blaming yourself. You don't need this anymore. You are grown up. But certain parts of you haven't yet grown up. They are in progress, work in progress. And to them, you have to be a mother, a father. That is what Indra had to do. He had to let the Virojana go. Even though you may say that, oh, my raga and dveshas, my inner Virochanas really need the knowledge. That is what they need. Why not I give them the knowledge? That is not going to work. They don't need knowledge. They need to be embraced, accepted. This is what Gaudapadacharya, the grand guru of Adi Shankara, says in the Mandukya Upanishad. Laye sambodhayet chittam vikshiptam cha shamayet punaha sakashayam vijaniyat shamapraptva nachalayet naswadayet rasam tatra nissango prajnaya bhavet. He gives a little bit of a different take, but a similar take on this inner child work by giving an example of what happens during dhyanam meditation. He says that when in meditation, two kinds of obstacles come. One is called sleep, laya. When sleep comes, you wake yourself up, call out to yourself, wake yourself up. And the other one, the other obstacle is called vikshepa, distraction. When distraction happens, come back to the mantra. And he says, the source of both the distraction and the sleep is the unconscious mind. Sakashayam vijaniyat. Kashaya means lot of sludge, difficulty, which is buried deep within. We are not trying to take it out. We are trying to integrate it and look upon it with love and have a say over it. And then once you get to the unconscious, don't stir it up. Just know it is there. And be aware that it does not come in the way of your goals, ambitions, focus. And the unconscious mind is also full of bubbles of pleasant things also. And when pleasant memories come, do not taste them. Come back to the mantra. Come back to that awareness. Come back to that silence. Come back to that stillness. And you will find a deeper and greater joy than what was afforded by reveling in a small memory. Reveling in the self is far better than reveling in the memories. That is what the word Rama means. Ramante yasmin yoginaha. That in which all the yogis revel. It is called Rama. And then this is Atma Rama, one in which everyone revels. Revel means keeps on reliving that. You can't revel in something that is painful. You can only revel in something that is wonderful, which is glorious. And that is what is symbolized by Rama. Rama means that in which everyone can revel. Rama is Atma Rama. Rama is a name for Atma. And then this Rama praying to Bhagavan, what does that do? I know who I am. Who are you? When I pray, I am a devotee. So this devotee identity is first fixed up. Rama is close to me. And when there is more Rama in me, as me, there is less and less drama. Yeah. We have to lose the D of drama. No drama, more Rama. This is what we want. But why are you talking about Rama? Well, he deserves it. Today is his birthday. Rama Navami. Today is his birthday. That's why I'm giving this teaching through the word Rama. And in this way, when the inner Virochanas, Asuras, are all tamed, you give them a feeding bottle, you make them lie down, they don't come in the way of this knowledge, then only the knowledge can take place. This is what the story tells us. The story is very important because it tells us how to grow, how to embrace these teachings, and how to know that whatever is there within, I'm not the only one. Everybody has this. And everybody has to do the work of letting go of the drama in order to welcome Rama. Rama is self-knowledge. Rama is you. And so with these words, I will close. And it has been a great honor and delight to be with all of you. And my prayer is for everybody to have less Rama and more drama. Sorry, the other way around. Less drama and more Rama on this auspicious day. And with these words, we will conclude. And thank you very much to Swamiji. And thank you very much to all of you for listening so well. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Swaminiji. On
Thank
this
you,
auspicious
Swamiji.
day of Rama Navami, which is the birthday of Lord Rama. So today, and tomorrow we would have a puja workshop. So we talk about this now. So we like to thank Swamiji for sharing. Okay.